Daniel Rudy Rudiger wants to play football at the University of Notre Dame, but has neither the money for tuition nor the grades to qualify for a scholarship. Rudy redoubles his efforts to get out of the steel mill where he works with his father. When his best friend, Pete, dies in an explosion accident there. Overcoming his dyslexia, thanks to his friend and tutor, D. Bob, Rudy gains admission into the University of Notre Dame and begins to fight his way onto the school's fabled football team. The movie takes place in Notre Dame, South Bend, Indiana. Educational policy throughout the film is the certain requirements that it takes to get admitted into Notre Dame. Rudy got admitted until his fourth attempt.
Another point is the Cold War is happening during that time. Sputnik was launched in 1957, thus affecting his parents' education overall. This is impactful to the community because in the end, the people, the community, are being forced, like in Rudy's movie, to work in the industry. In the end, Rudy's coaches were and are considered one of his mentors and teachers. They showed great support and leadership skills. They did not let him give up, and that's what students need. They need support from their teachers to continue on and have a good life.
The relationship Rudy had with his tutor, D. Bob, was special because before he became friends with him, Rudy thought he was simply dumb. D. Bob discovered that he was dyslexic, which explained his lifelong learning disability. Rudy was an inspiration to his community, which was the football team, because he created an environment where everyone is fully committed to their role. The team eventually stood up to the coach on behalf of Rudy. This showed leadership when pushing the coach to recognize the heart and drive as a core value. The coach's disposition was negative because he didn't believe in Rudy's height, weight, physical stature, nor athletic ability. Throughout the movie, Rudy proves him wrong and the football team fights with him. Rudy's passion for his role gives him and the players the vision to be successful. The commitment he has is the way he holds his place on the team. His drive, perseverance, and love inspires the people around to work as hard as they can.
In the beginning of the movie, Rudy's class was given the chance to visit North Dane. After time passed, the time arrived and the students were about to leave to North Dane as Rudy's professor stopped him from getting inside the bus, making him feel very bad to the point that he didn't even go to the tour. Now that was an issue because no teacher should make their students feel bad, especially if it involves their future education.
A wonderful aspect about this film is the collaboration of all the characters, whether negative or positive. The first one is the civics teacher. He tells Rudy, the problem with dreamers is that they aren't doers. Their achievements are grand in their head, but on paper, or in their actual achievements, where it counts, they fall short. And he tells Rudy not everyone is meant to go to college. So his civics teacher acts as the initial negativity we see throughout the film that Rudy has to endure. The civics teacher acts as one of the persons Rudy wants to prove wrong that he can do what he sets his mind to. Contrastingly, Rudy's best friend Pete acts as the driving force, or one of the driving forces throughout the film. Pete gives Rudy a Letterman jacket of Notre Dame. And this jacket acts as a symbol of hope and perseverance and determination. When Rudy's at his lowest, he holds that Letterman jacket tightly, and we see him wear it throughout the entirety of the film. And before Pete's death, he leaves Rudy with this quote: "Having dreams is what makes life tolerable." Another vital character is a priest that Rudy meets. Rudy does not have the grades to get into Notre Dame as a freshman, but the priest gives Rudy the hope of getting into Notre Dame with the opportunity of going to a nearby college called Holy Cross. As Rudy gets high enough grades, He applies to Notre Dame and eventually gets accepted. Lastly, fortune is probably the biggest motivating factor in Rudy's life. He is the realist in the film that sees himself in Rudy and helps Rudy practically and emotionally. He helps Rudy see the positive sides of even when Rudy himself, doesn't see that he succeeded. He reminds Rudy that, above all, he got an education at a great college. He stood up with the practice team in Notre Dame, and that eventually he will graduate with a degree from Notre Dame. Which is important because when Rudy's at his lowest in the film, fortune reminds him of the achievements he's made up to this point, and that his determination of proving everybody in his life wrong is meaningless from what he's accomplished up to this point, which allows Rudy to make the final step to move forward and achieve his dream.
I think the disposition that the coach had motivated and pushed Rudy to become the leader he was meant to be. I believe there are similar cases that can still be seen on high school level. A good example was here in Laredo, Texas, at United High School. There was a case of a student with Down syndrome. He wanted to be on the team to prove people he had the capacity. Although he didn't play, he put on the uniform and that was good enough for him. The team accepted him and fought for his position. In the long run, he inspired the coach and his teammates just like Rudy. This created a positive environment around him. I believe that students with disabilities are still seen on teams, and that has an impact on the world today.
The film Rudy shows that a person can overcome whatever he or she is born into, as long as he or she has willingness, determination, and a drive to never give up in achieving his or her dreams. Unfortunately, though, there are cases where many students do not achieve what they had put their mind to. In the book Holler If You Hear Me, Mr. Michi writes about several students he's taught over the years. One student is called Ruby, and she is bright in the eyes of Mr. Michi. Unfortunately, though, she does not finish high school, and when she's 17-years-old, she already has 2 children and lives with somebody. And her way of life was different from what Ruby and Mr. Michi had hoped back when they were in middle school together. And this is just one case of many. It shows that a teacher is one to help a student progress. As in the film Rudy, many people were a part of Rudy's dream. And as teachers, we are part of various students' dreams, whatever that may be. And it's important to keep that in mind as we go through years of teaching students. We remember that we are guides for life.